Bitcoins and beer, bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and raves and rants. He's here drinking beer, spilling bitcoins on his pants. Hello, it's me Norm again, here once again to drink beer and rant about bitcoins. Today's beer is, I already opened it, I'm sorry, I got home from work. It's a double red India Pale Ale by AleSmith down here in San Diego, over just south of me, not too far away. And this is what it looks like. Very dark IPA, red IPA. Lovely. So today, or actually it was probably last week, I was reading some interesting news about the SWIFT system. And for those of you who don't know what the SWIFT system is, that is how we currently transfer funds from one place to another. It stands for secure, as far as I know, I could be wrong on this, secure wire financial transfer, as far as I know. The S is for secure, so you know it's secure, right? And a lot of people use it because, they don't know about Bitcoin. Bitcoin might not be as secure. Oh, this is what's so ironic. I think most of the world uses it, and as a global financial transfer system for wealth. And this is where I think I don't think Bitcoin is going to become a usable currency right away for everyday transactions. I really don't see it being used like that. Maybe variants of Bitcoin might be, but I do see it being used for something more like the SWIFT system. Because as far as the news goes today, the SWIFT system isn't very secure. If you haven't read, a bunch of hackers hacked into the Bangladesh bank, got their SWIFT ID, which I don't know. Maybe it's their mother's maiden name. I don't know. It's a long number. Posed as Bangladesh Bank, called the Fed, and then had funds. They did this several times. It was several. They say small chunks, but small chunks in the big. In, like, if you're talking about $1 billion, I guess it is small chunks, but it was pretty large amounts of money they had wired to from the the Fed to like casinos in the Philippines or someplace, which laundered the money, and who knows where it went after that. How secure is that? It's like, calling the bank and someone calling the bank and saying they're you, and maybe they have your mother's maiden name or whatever it is now they ask for, because they have a bunch of different security questions. But let's say they have your security questions, and they say it's you, and then they transfer all your savings to somebody in like a prince in wherever that place is in Africa. How secure is that? It's not very secure, is it? And this is why I think Bitcoin will become one, because you're paying. Actually, you pay. I don't know what the fees are on a wire transfer, but I know they're kind of hefty, and especially compared to Bitcoin, it's cheap. Bitcoin's cheap to do transactions like this, especially if you're doing it from, $1 donation, like like if you're doing it from the dollar to the euro or to the yen or whatever, the renminbi. Because I think if you do that, you get charged with like money. You get another charge on top of the wire charge. You get like a money transferring fee or something like that, which is always in fluctuation. And they're saying how unstable Bitcoin is, but compared to some of these currencies, it's just as unstable or as some of these other currencies, which Bitcoin actually hasn't been that unstable lately. It's been pretty steady. It can jump and drop at a moment's notice, but it generally stays in the same area for a while before it jumps and drops again, which is interesting. So that's just something to think about. It's March 10th. I believe this happened a week ago, March 5th. If you want to look it up in the news, it's just a bizarre story that the Fed actually started transferring, and the only thing is they stopped because they were doing it in small chunks, like I said, and they stopped, but they got an outrageous amount of money. I'll let you Google it and find out exactly how much, because I'm getting kind of a mixed, depending on what story I read, I get kind of a mixed stories about it. But I think Bitcoin will become one of the financial vehicles for wealth across the world. And I think that's a conversation worth having. Tell me what your thoughts are on it down below. You can leave a message. I might answer. I may not. I don't know. I'm not very good at that. But cheers. Satoshi saved is a Satoshi earned.